third and final match here in the Tim Kim Gymnasium located on the campus of Mount Union. It's the Purple Raiders taking on Carlow. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you once again in my 7th and final game of the week. It's been a long grind to begin October, and I am excited to end it right here at Mount Union. It should be a fun contest for the Purple Raiders as they look for win number 12 of the 2024 season. They took down Westminster 3-0 in game number 1. At the end, I spoke to Alexis Meyer, the senior on the top left of your screen on Mount Union's side. She is ready for another big game, and so is her fellow senior, the two-time All-American Heaven Bartell. Both of them look to lead the line from opposite sides, with Ava Bolin handling things in the middle. Behind them, they will have Sam Cantrell, Cami Welty back deep, as well as Casey Kildow, and the libero Avery Haley will be ready to do what she does best, digging the ball. Welty standing in there, looks like just as a placeholder. Haley hyping up the team as she goes up in the air with Heaven Bartell, but it will be Casey Kildow back on the right side for the Purple Raiders to serve as we are underway in the match 3. It's Mount Union and it's Carlow. The first point of the new match goes to Mount Union as they win the battle at the net. The height advantage of Mount Union, especially from Ava Bolin, number 1, really gives them a huge advantage in this contest. Humberston, Cantrell skies, Bartell bumps over. Nice job by Hess, who had an excellent game 2 moments ago. Ends up being the decisive hit for Carlow as they tie it up. But she did an excellent job killing the ball on that far side. Her positioning was great. She, along with Emily Hess, really led the line. So Hess squared will be the name of the game for Mount Union in regards to stopping the offense. Bolin, her attempt blocked at the net. There is Perkins, who had a couple big plays, as Meyer snipes the back line, putting Mount Union back in the lead. Alexis Meyer had an excellent game number 1, and game number 2 starts off in a similar fashion. Darby Leininger now on for the Purple Raiders. She led in the kill department with 11, if I'm not mistaken, in the first match of the day, as Mount Union continues to add points, now up 3-1. Heaven Bartell back to serve. Hess perfectly setting up Ava Bolin. No contest for the sophomore as she smacks the hardwood. Absolutely nothing else Carlow could have done. The bump had to be there to keep it in play, but Bolin right there had an easy kill. Hess set up, goes cross court. Bartell keeps it in play. Leininger gives it to Haley. Haley bumps it over. What a play by Heaven Bartell to keep this sequence alive. Kildow switches. Leininger, the dive from Jones, keeps it alive for Carlow. They continue. Bartell pushes forward. The set up to Meyer. Kept up by Porter, and finally it goes out of play. Meyer, the decisive word for the Purple Raiders, puts them up 5-1. It's a 4-0 run for the Purple Raiders. Bartell looks to make it 5. Sufak keeps it in the air. Porter, it tips off the white of the net into Mount Union territory. Bartell punches it over, and she gets the point for Mount Union. The excellent run continues. It is now 5 unanswered from the Purple Raiders. Bartell sends it away shallowly. Sufak almost set up Bolin for another easy kill, but it stays on Carlow's side in the end. Bolin right there if need be. Now a 7-1 Mount Union advantage. Bartell goes at Hess. Hess gets it. The block is there from Mount Union, and the ricochet gives them the point. Bolin and Meyer tag team the effort. It's 7 in a row for the Purple Raiders. Can they make it 8? Bartell sends towards Hess. She gets it back from Cooper. It goes low. What a dig by Leininger. It's still in play. Perkins hits it back over. Carlow setting up Bolin. Bouncing around still. Hits over by Hess. Still a chance for Mount Union to get the excellent point. And they do. Alexis Meyer seals it. But what a dig by Darby Leininger to give the Purple Raiders a chance. An 8-0 run for the Purple Raiders. Now they go for 9. Sufak goes low, keeps it in the air. Porter to Hess. Bartel digs. Carlow setting up Leininger, and Leininger puts Mount Union into double figures. It's a 9-0 run for the home team. And Coach Goal has seen enough. The Purple Raiders celebrating up 10-1 early in set number 1. Mr. Brightside, a classic. It's belting over the speakers in the Timken Gymnasium. Mount Union, they are Miss Brightside, if you will, up 10-1 over Carlow. And out of the timeout, the Celtics earn their second point of the match as they end the bleeding. Sufak, the libero, one of 2 liberos that the Celtics roster, back deep to serve. You will also see Claire Yesovic later on in the match. But Carlow likes to sub those 2 players out interchangeably. Sufak unable to clear the net. Mount Union retakes their 9-point advantage as Cami Welty subs in for the first time this match. Bolin sends it away. Pushed forward by Jones. Tipped over by Cooper. Leininger on the left side gets the kill for Mount Union. No one home in the back center of Carlow's side of the court, and Leininger takes advantage. She has put together a couple of great games today for the Purple Raiders, as she now has 2 kills to her name, trailing Myers 3, and Mount Union continues to pile on the points. The left side of the attack dominating. Ava Bolin getting ready to serve for the Purple Raiders. Goes shallow. Bounces to the left side off of Hess from Cooper. It goes to Hess. The give and go of dreams for Carlow works perfectly as they earn their 3rd point of the set and match. The libero Avery Haley back on for Mount Union as she will replace Ava Bolin. Bartel. Carlow setting up Welty. Bumped over by Keller. Carlow setting for Leininger. A good recovery by Jones as she keeps it in play. Selder. It goes back. Carlow sprinting. So does Haley. And it drops right below me in the broadcast booth, making it 13-4. As you can see from our camera angle, we are behind the action. We are in a room on the 2nd floor in the MAC. It's an interesting quote-unquote press box, but definitely a beautiful lounge and gives us a great vantage point to see the game. And that block goes directly to Casey Kropka at the scorer's table, earning Carlow another point. I don't think he realized that snagging a block would be part of his job description for today, along with being the PA announcer. Tipped over by Welty. And the point goes to Carlow, a violation against Mount Union. as the Celtics start to roar back into set number 1. It has been a constant all day. Teams that trail tend to be able to put a couple of good serves together and get back into contests. That has been fun to watch. Meyer almost getting a kill, but an excellent dig from the Celtics keeps them in. But Leininger gets the final word. She finishes what Meyer couldn't on that sequence, and Meyer, along with Kildall, will take a rest as both of them have played stellarly so far. And now on to serve for Mount Union, Allie Gunn. Allie, haven't seen her play yet. An interesting story about Allie. Her mom was a teacher at my grade school. I had her mom, Mrs. Gunn, back all the way in 5th grade. I was able to see her earlier today. I see her in attendance right now, so shout out to her, as she was one of the most influential English teachers I had. I write for Keon Sports on occasion. She is a big reason why she really got the best out of my writing. That's a little interesting side note, just a really cool thing to see her get into this matchup. Leininger trying to hit over, it bounces off of Meister, who also didn't play in match number 1, and goes out for a Carlow point. Here's that rotation as well for Mount Union. They bring in players you don't usually see from set 1 to set 2, match 1 to match 2. They did it last time with Molly McKee, who has 78 kills on the year. They brought her in for the second match against Kelvin, and Kelvin didn't have much of a response for her. Welty, Gunn, setting it up for Leininger. It skies off of Hess and out of play for a Mount Union point. Cantrell set to sub in, and she will relieve Leininger. And Cantrell's a couple volleyballs bounced towards her. You can only play with one, legally. Cantrell sends it away and gets the ace! Sam Cantrell, the freshman. What a snipe of the back right corner. She will look to do that exact same thing, but that could not have been any more perfect of a serve. The Purple Raiders will take that as they lead it by 9. She goes to the same spot. This time, there is a Celtic ready to go. And a beautiful tip over. That comes from Allison Humberston as she is able to find some open hardwood. Mount Union, a lot of different players on the court compared to where they started. Bartel, Haley, Cantrell in the back. Gunn along with Meister and Welty in the front. Bartel smacks it off the net and into Carlow territory. Humberston. Gunn sets, just sneaks it over the net. A good idea from her. Hit over by Humberston. Cantrell, Gunn setting it up for Meister, and Meister gets the point for Mount Union. An excellently worked play by Gunn and Meister from the center to the right as the Purple Raiders lead it by 9. Haley sends it over, setting up Perkins for Carlow, but she couldn't get it over. The Purple Raiders take back their double-digit lead. Haley will continue to work on the serve as she sends it away. Hess kept up in the air by Emily Hess and skied out of play by Haley into Mount Union's bench. Additionally for Mount Union, Ava Bolin back in the contest. Carlow makes some changes. Porter back deep to serve. Near the net, they will have Humberston, Cooper, and Perkins. They will also have Rebecca Hess and the new libero, Yezovic, back deep. The set going behind for Cooper. Cooper gets it over, and it tips off of Heaven Bartel. The Massillon-Jackson alum has had a solid afternoon for the Celtics as she earns Carlow another point. Cantrell skies, Gunn bumps it forward, setting up Heaven Bartel. Bartel going cross court, can't find an open spot. Gunn bumps it forward, Cantrell picks out Meister. Meister into the center, a good response from Hess. Humberston snipes the back corner for Carlow. What a hit at the net from the senior. Humberston has been almost everywhere on that attacking line for Carlow today. A lot of the hitters have looked really good in this competition today. And a great block at the net. I believe Perkins got a hand in there as she has had a couple of good plays as she adds on to it, but none as impressive as where she, I believe, blocked it back and then spiked it down. She had two excellent maneuvers in the span of 5 seconds to earn Carlow a point against Westminster. This one skies off with a libero and almost into the netting / rafters. Mount Union needs 6 to seal the deal in set number 1. Conable comes on for Mount Union as yet another change as Coach Morrison looks to keep her girls fresh and ready to go. Kildow sends it away. Bumped back to Humberston. Cantrell lining it up for Bartell. Bartell's efforts blocked, but it goes out of play as Cooper gets the last word in for Carlow, but Mount Union takes the point. Kildow sends it away shallowly. Humberston does a nice job to get to the deck and get it. Cooper sends it over. Kildow goes back. The light tap from Conable is enough to get Mount Union the point. A good fake out from her. She lined up for the spike and just got under it and lofted it over. Kildow sends it over. Almost an ace, but an excellent dig from Yesovic. Keeps it in the air. Kildow sets it up. Bolin, it skies over on to the right where the basketball hoops are down. It's a 10-point lead for the Purple Raiders. Kildow on the right gets ready to send the ball away. And it's an ace for Casey Kildow. A perfect spot picked out, and the libero had no reaction possible. Kildow goes again. Porter sets it for Humberston. Cantrell sets up Bartell. And it goes out of play. Mount Union now doubles the Celtics output in set number 1, and they are at set point. Kildow to seal the deal for Mount Union. Porter playing it to Hess. Haley keeps in the air. Kildow setting it up for Conable. Hess once again deals with it. Cooper, her efforts blocked at the net. Bolin and Bartell combine to seal set number 1 for the Purple Raiders, 25-12. An excellent team win in set number 1 for the Purple and White as they looked dominant from start to finish, going back to that almost kill shot right out of the gate. It's all Mount Union as we head into set number 2 of our third match out of 3 at the Timken Gymnasium. Mount Union leads it 1-0. Set number 2 about to get underway between Mount Union and Carlow. A score update from Westerville. Mount Union takes down Otterbein 21-0 with 14 second half points, enough to down the Cardinals. The Purple Raiders remain undefeated, and they will return home next weekend for their homecoming matchup. It will be a fun weekend filled with plenty of festivities and a lot of great food, I am sure, in the area. Hopefully, a lot of good free food as well. As a college student, free is probably the best word we can hear. Or no class. First point of the new set goes to Carlow. It's a 1-0 lead for the Celtics. Mount Union, if you're just tuning in, took home set number 1, 25-12. Kildow setting up Meyer. Kept in the air nicely by Yesovic. Sent over by Humberston. Kildow setting up Alexis Meyer, and Alexis Meyer on the left side puts Mount Union on the board in set number 2. Substitution for the Purple Raiders, and for the first time today, Sadie Thomas, the 5'10 sophomore from Maplewood High School, checks in. Cooper off the shoulder of Kildow, and Bowen can't keep it in the air. An awkward hit. It's all smiles from Kildow. Nothing more she could have done. Humberston checks out as Jones subs in for Carlow. Jones sends it away. Haley pushes forward, setting up Bowen with a light tap, almost picking a perfect spot out in front of the defense, but just couldn't split them. Kildow picking out Thomas, and Thomas right away makes an impact on the second serve she was in for. Haley subs out as that will bring on, if I'm not mistaken, Welty. Bolin sends it away. Porter setting up Perkins. It's blocked by Welty, but it goes out of play. Carlow ties it up at 2. Or excuse me, takes the lead 3-2. Perkins subs out along with Yesovic. Sufak, the starting libero, sends it away. Haley, the other libero matches, setting up Welty. Welty tips it, and that effort will give Mount Union the point. Once again, Carlow hitting a ball that looked to be out of play. Kate Lesko subs in for the first time this match. She had 3 aces last time out. She and Avery Haley excelled in that department. And she gets another one for good measure. Caitlin Lesko continues to be on a tear for Mount Union as she puts them in the lead 4-3. The senior from Mineral Ridge has had an excellent day at the office for the Purple Raiders as she looks to continue her dominance. Cooper, Bartell digs to keep it in play, setting up Thomas, and Thomas gets the kill for Mount Union. The beautiful thing about the Purple Raiders is any player can step up at any given time, and Sadie Thomas is a perfect example of that. Ball set up for Cooper, and it's out of play. Mount Union gets the point. Let's go back deep once again. The Purple Raiders up by 3. She sends it away. Porter setting up Hess, and it goes out of play, and Mount Union gets the point. This is Mount Union at their finest. They look to establish an early lead in these contests, get some dominance, get some wiggle room, and then they can continue to play to their strengths and keep their identity. That is Mount Union at their best. Welty keeps it on Carlow's side of the light tip. Hansen setting up Welty. It's blocked back. Thomas keeps in the air. What a dig. She does it again. It doesn't go over. It almost did, as Sadie Thomas would have had one heck of a play for Mount Union, but Carlow gets the point. How unlucky for Mount Union. But that is hustle from Thomas right there. You cannot teach that. That is an intangible, and she has that. A lot of these players do. To get to this level, especially at Mount Union, you have to have the intangible of hustle. Haley dives. It's not enough. It's an ace for Carlow as they are getting back into set number 2. Chalfont sends it away for Carlow. Thomas set up, and the kill for Sadie Thomas. She continues her dominant day. I know back home in Strongsville, my grandparents' dog is named Sadie, so I'm sure anytime Sadie Thomas's name is mentioned, that young wiener dog is going nuts, wondering why her name keeps getting said. Sent away by Campbell for Mount Union. Another new face of the game for the Purple Raiders. Let's go to Hansen, setting up Welty, and Welty gets the point for the Purple Raiders. Purple power is enough to put them up by 4. And as Thomas subs out, she is now on the leaderboard with 3 kills behind Leiniger and Alexis Meyer. Bartel gets it after a hard handle, and Hansen hits the M on Carlow's side, putting the Purple Raiders into double figures as she splits the defense to perfection. Kaylee Campbell, the sophomore from Triway High School, sends it over. And it goes to Bartel, and Bartel the kill! Right place at the right time. The net battle is dominated still by Mount Union. Coach Morrison giving some instructions and some overall encouragement. As you can see Haley smiling on your screen. It is all smiles for the Purple Raiders as this one goes out of play, but it's off of a tip. So Carlow gets the point. And as well as the points tally continues to update overall on the website for kills, Meyer, Thomas, and Bartel now all have 4. As for Carlow, it just updated once again. Hess has 3. Campbell digs to keep it in the air. Hansen setting up Welty, and that is a perfectly orchestrated point by the Purple Raiders. They're able to get a lot of players involved in their scheme, and that has really helped them to be dominant. A score update from downtown Cleveland. The Guardians up 7-0 over the Detroit Tigers. And continuing the theme of dominance, Mount Union earns their 13th point of set number 2. Avery Haley back deep, sends it away. It goes off the white of the net and reverbs back onto Mount Union's side. So Carlow earns their 7th point of the set. Keller sends it off. Haley lining it up for Lesko. The set and spiking coming from Carlow, and that earns the point. That is Georgia Sedler on the right side. So the RS earns the point for Carlow. Mount Union's bench getting into it, and it is a serving error from Carlow. It goes out of play. Mount Union restores a 6-point advantage. And some substitutions as Lesko and Hansen sub out of the contest for the Purple Raiders. Casey Kildow back on to serve along with Alexis Meyer, who will be on the outside. A good block. Bolin and Meyer tag team the point. They have excellent rapport at the net as those two have had plenty of excellent plays combined. Kildow sends it away once again, almost fooling Carlow, but they're able to deal with it. Campbell. Kildow setting up Meyer, and Meyer gets it a sky off of Rebecca Hess as the ball almost lands in the far seat of the scorer's table. Mount Union doubling the output of Carlow. When Casey Kildow is serving, excellent things happen for Mount Union. She sends it away once again. Hess to the net, setting up Perkins. It blocks down as Bolin was in on the effort along with Meyer. Kildow sends it over, but it stays on Mount Union's side before it reverbs. So Carlow earns a point back. It's a close set. They're down by 7, but still the Celtics have plenty of time to work with, plenty of serves still to go. They can make something happen. Carlow lining up. A point here would take them into double figures. The cross-court set hits the antenna as Carlow will earn the point down by 6. It was a perfect idea by Mount Union, but just a little bit too much power. Meyer was right there, but just couldn't connect with it. As that ball goes well out the back, Mount Union leads it by 7 as Sadie Thomas, along with number 13, Abby DeGeorge, sub in. DeGeorge, the sophomore from Uniontown Lake, subs in for the first time today. Bartell and Kaylee Campbell, the two that make way. DeGeorge sends it away for the Purple Raiders. Perkins set up, and it is out of play. Mount Union does a nice job to avoid a tip as they lead it by 8. A good idea. Porter found Perkins. Perkins has had plenty of potent plays thus far, but just couldn't get that one to go. Both sides trade long hits. Carlow takes back possession and takes a point in the process. Giovanna Jones back deep for Carlow to send the ball away. DeGeorge, it goes to Carlow's side as a violation gives them the point. The Celtics, they're starting to make some room for themselves to get back into this. Haley, the dig, Kildow, setting up Alexis Meyer for the spike and kill. Alexis Meyer at the net today has been a sight to behold for Purple Raider Nation. Ava Bolin deep for Mount, sends it away, almost getting the ace, but an excellent dig from Jones keeps it alive. Bolin responds with an extending dig of her own as Alexis Meyer earns the point. The extended outstanding dig was enough. Mount Union dominating up by 12. Bolin sends away. The set and spike and the kill for the visitors. Rebecca Hess earns Carlow their 13th point of set number 2. Sufak on the right side for Carlow, sends it away. DeGeorge, Meyer, and the kill! Need I say more? A player sets up Meyer. You can guess what comes next. Lesko and Hansen in. Meyer and Kildow out. The Purple Raiders rotating their players as they are 4 points away from sealing set number 2. Sent forward, Cooper unable to get it over. Mount Union within 3 of ending set number 2. Lesko back deep for the Purple Raiders. Looks to get them one step closer and put them back up by 10. That'll be the first 10-point advantage since set number 1. What a dig by Lesko, but it's not enough. Hansen works backwards, but is unable to get to the ball in time. The Celtics get a consolation point down the stretch. At the same time, they can make this a non-consolation point if they play their cards right. They would need a lot to go their way in the next couple of serves. Haley to Hansen. Welty gets the point. Cami Welty at the net, picking up where Alexis Meyer left off. Once Alexis Meyer graduates, Welty looks to be a 3-year starter for Mount Union, and she will be one heck of a player to watch here in Alliance. Hess set up on the right side, blocked by Bartell. Goes forward, Hansen setting up Bartell. She goes crossbody and hits the court. A great job by Heaven Bartell as that puts Mount Union up by 10 and back at set point. Kaylee Campbell to serve for Mount Union. Hess plays it forward, cross court. Sedler Campbell digs, Hansen sets up Bartel. Bartel, it skies off the libero. Hess keeps it in play. One last hit. They can't fire it off. Mount Union wins set number 2, 25-14, as their dominance continues. An excellent performance from the Purple Raiders once again, as Heaven Bartel gets the final word in as we change sides once again. Set 3 upcoming here in Alliance. Mount Union up 2-0 over Carlow. Across 3 matches, 8 sets in the books at Mount Union this afternoon. Maybe only one more left to go. Mount Union in the driver's seat, up 2-0 after 25-12 and 25-14 victories over Carlow thus far. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon as we begin the 3rd set with a Mount Union point as Humberston's efforts miss well wide of the lines. The storyline of this game for Mount Union, depth. They have rotated in a lot of players we didn't see in the first match, and they have played their part perfectly. Players such as Sadie Thomas, Allie Gunn, Riley Meister, and Abby DeGeorge getting in along with Ryan Conable, who is a more established player, the junior coming from Olentangy Liberty. But those players are getting good minutes in this game, and that will help Mount Union in the future. And as well, the usual suspects off the bench, such as Cami Welty, who has done a nice job today filling in when Alexis Meyer is subbed out. Speaking of Sadie Thomas, she checks in for Mount Union, and she will reside over on the outside. Perkins set up, and it's kept in the air. Kildall, the dig. Thomas on the left side hits it over. Porter goes backwards to Cooper. Meyer keeps it in the air this time. Kildow sets up Meyer. And she hits the line. But no, they give Carlow the point. Oh, I don't know about that call. That definitely appeared to hit the line from my angle up here in the booth. But they have a better angle, and they say it just missed. There have been a couple of close ones, but that almost looks certain to be a Mount Union point. Maybe a slight head scratcher, but it doesn't matter. 2-2, Mount Union will work, and they get the point right back. It doesn't matter. Mount Union, they work with adversity as Ava Bowen snipes the hardwood. Haley subs out. Ava Bowen, the 6'2" sophomore from West Virginia, sends it away. Porter setting up Hess. Kildow. Thomas snipes the back left corner for Mount Union. Sadie Thomas continues to dominate on the outside. You can't ask for more from Sadie Thomas in this game, as she has been a thorn in Carlow's side. Jones, Porter setting up Keller. Kildow going to Meyer. And sent back Bowen. Kildow. Welty kept in the air still. Jones this time as Jones bumps it over. Bowen, Kildow, Welty blocked at the net. A good job by Carlow. We continue. Kildow shoves. Sufak. Porter sets. Cooper gets it over. Kildow deals with it. Bartell bumps to Meyer, and the senior legends of Mount Union combined for the point. Bartell finds Meyer. It's Mount Union up 5-2. The rapport those two class of 2025 members have is something special. If you haven't seen these two players play, please make it out to a game this year, as seeing Heaven Bartell and Alexis Meyer play volleyball, it has been a fun ride so far as Mount Union continues to dominate up 6-2. From top to bottom on this roster, there is so much talent. No matter who the Purple Raiders send out on a given day, they have a good chance to compete. Even in the Otterbein loss, they did a nice job competing in each set, as once again the hitters at the net do their job as Thomas and Welty prevent any return from Carlow. With Mount Union up 5, Bowen sends it away. Hess, Porter gets it back to Rebecca Hess. The give and go works for Carlow as they get back on the board, 7-3. And a double change for the visitors, 15 and 21. Cooper and Porter, the typical change. Both of them sub out. Sent away by Chalfont. Thomas, an awkward hit, but it splits the defense perfectly. What a job by the sophomore on the outside edge. I mentioned her earlier, Maya McKee, she subs in, and as well, Anna Mihasevich on as well. Anna Mihasevich, unfortunately, I have seen her play well against my alma mater, as she went to Padua and I went to Mount Union. Don't ask me to score the game last year. It did not end well for my Green Wave, as she was a big reason why, along with Skupski, who we might see later on in this matchup, but her first serve goes well, and Mihasevich will have another chance. Mihasevich sends it away. Sufak setting up Keller. It's blocked. Welty shoves it over again, but a violation gives a point to Carlow. A lot of the freshmen for Mount Union have received good game time. Cantrell, Welty, and now Mihasevich on. The future is bright for the Purple Raiders in volleyball, and as well the sophomores. They have really stepped up today as well. Ava Bowen, Kaylee Campbell getting some game time. Mihasevich sets up Thomas. And that confuses Carlow. The ball skies from one end of the court to the outside. It's 10-4 Mount Union. Lainey Schultz, the sophomore from South Park. No, not the one from the cartoon. The one from PA subs in. Schultz sends it away. Pushed over by Humberston. Mihasevich lining up McKee. and it stays on Mount Union's side and rolls down. The Celtics earn their 5th point of the set. Bartel, Haley, Schultz, McKee, Miasevich, and Welty, the 6 on the court for the Purple Raiders as they earn the point after the low serve. Bolin will now replace, I believe, trying to see who actually subbed out. I think it was, I was going to say Bolin, but I couldn't see who subbed out. Schultz sending it forward. Miasevich lining it up for Bartel. It hangs in the rafters a while as it rolls off the backboard. Miasevich goes behind her back and hits it over. Perkins set up, it hits out the fingertip of the taller Bolin as once again Perkins is in with a big play. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this rotation from Mount Union continue as a lot of fresh and new faces have been introduced in match number 2. Porter back deep on the left side for Carlow, sends it away. Bartel, Miasevich tries tipping it, and Carlow gets the point. So once again, Porter back on the left side will send it away for Carlow. Miasevich, McKee has out the fingertips of a couple of Celtics as Bartel downs the ball for Mount Union's 12th point. Kildow and Meyer return in place of McKee and Miasevich. Kildow sends it away. Porter changing sides, going to Cooper, blocked by Bolin, and it falls down on Carlow's side. The sophomore continues her big day. Kildow will serve once again. Porter stumbling, almost loses it. It doesn't matter. The return isn't there. Mount Union continues to control the tempo as they have the Celtics playing the way that they want them to. Kildow goes again, skied by Humberston. And she can't return once again. The Purple Raiders earn the point. It's 15-7. Coach Gall stands up and she will call time. It is all Mount Union today in Alliance. Your score in the middle of set number 3, 15-7 Mount Union. We will step aside and rejoin the action in a minute. It's all smiles for Mount Union as they lead it 15-7 in set number 3, 2-0 overall. A final score from Kara Stadium, 2-0 Otterbein over Mount Union women's soccer. The attempt there coming from Eldridge stays on Mount Union's side as yet another freshman gets in the game. Maddie Eldridge, the 5'8" freshman from North Ridgeville, is on as she will be, I believe, potentially the 5th freshman to play in this game. We're going to try to do some quick math on the fly as we are ready to go. Eldridge tips it over. But either way, Mount Union, they've done a nice job getting the younger players in this matchup. They have really made good impacts when called upon, and that is really all you can ask of your young players. And I did just do the count. It is the 4th freshman to play. Meyer with the left hand has the powerful kill for the Purple Raiders. She continues to dominate. She leads the way in regard to kills for the Purple Raiders. Her and Heaven Bartel have been elite with kills this afternoon. Bartel gets the ace now for Mount Union. She catches Carlow off guard as we are in the home stretch now of today's matches. Sent over, Bartel looking for another one, won't get it as Carlow is able to return. Bartel, Kildow gets the run to Eldridge, and Eldridge's run pays dividends. What a job by Kildow picking out the freshman for a point. A very successful day at the office for the Purple Raiders. Bartel sends it away. Porter lining up for Hess. And Hess gets some words in for Carlow as she is able to bounce the ball off of Haley for a point. Sufak back deep on the left side for the visitors. They're down by 8. They need a spark if they want to get back into this competition. Haley Skies, Kildow sets for Thomas, and Thomas gets the point as she deflects it off of Sufak. Sadie Thomas, talk about making the most of your opportunities. We didn't see her at all in match number 1, and the way she has played in this match, we wonder why. I mean, Mount Union has so much talent in their attack, it's not even funny. They can put out any combination in the attack, and they will succeed. And it's an ace for Mount Union as this one comes from Maddie Eldridge. Majorana just subbed in as well, the sophomore from Marlington. So she's used to the area. Schutz High School 10 minutes down the road at most. Meyer bumps it over. Mount Union up by 10 as Cooper makes it 9 with a kill. Maybe got a slight deflection, but either way, a good play from Rebecca Hess as she has had a solid afternoon in spite of the result. After this, all eyes turn to Mount Union's boys soccer team as they are on the road in Westerville taking on Otterbein. The overlapping run tried to fool Carlow, but instead Thomas wasn't ready. She did a good job to react, but one too many hits. Carlow gets a second point straight. Sent over, Haley, forward to Kildow, setting it up. It's not quite there as Majorana wasn't able to get enough underneath the ball. It's 3 on the bounce for the Celtics. This set far from over Mount Union. They need to keep their composure. Bartel, Kildow lining up for Alexis Meyer as she punches it over. Sufak lining up. It goes to Hess as Hess gets another kill for the visitors. A Celtic comeback might be on the cards. Chalfant sends it over. Kildow setting up Thomas, and Thomas earns a point for Mount Union. Just as it appeared to be a comeback for Carlow, Thomas gets another big play to add to her resume. And subbing in, there's our 5th freshman. That is Graceland Skupski, another player produced by Padua. Padua, even though they're a rival of my alma mater, I have nothing but nice things to say about the Franciscans. I know a lot of people I know from Padua are probably going to have a heart attack hearing me say that, but a lot of respect for them. They produced a lot of top talents, and as well, Mount Union is benefiting from 2 of them today, as Mount Union earns another point there. But as well, going back to week 1 for football, Alliance took on Padua, and Padua actually asked me to go and do the game, so that is why I was over there. And then I met my now boss at the Alliance Spectrum channel, who is a Mount Union alum. So it's thanks to kind of Padua that I have that job. So I have a lot of appreciation for my alma mater's rival. Another point to Mount Union. The blockers doing their job at the net. Anna English, the sophomore from Mentor High School, sends it away, and it's a little bit too low. Humberston back on for Carlow as she will relieve Jones. Hess back deep on the left side. 23-15 in set number 3. Mount Union 2 points away from sealing the deal. Bartel lining it up, sent over by Skupski. Kept in the air. The shove up towards Sedler, And it's another point for the visitors as the Celtics are rerunning their comeback attempt. The visitors have no timeouts. Mount Union have 2. I wouldn't be surprised to see one of them used if Carlow gets a point here. Haley, forward, English, lining it up for Ollinger. Kept in the air. A good attempt. It goes and just hits the back line. Humberston, an excellent effort. Actually, no, they changed the call. It's 24-16 off of the miss. And now Mount Union, okay, no one knows what's going on. I've seen 23-17, now 24-16, and now back to 23-17. They called a tip, and that made no sense. It's 23-17. I think we have everything ironed out. Hopefully. Haley Skies, that goes pretty much in line with the press box up here, as now it is 23-18. Coach Morrison, she is thinking about the timeout. She does have some players she can sub back in, but she wants this crew to see things out, as this is the future of the program. Hess sends it over. Set up. Skupski, the light touch. Kept in play by Carlow. Sent over. Bartel. Shoved over to no man's land. That one coming from number 21, Majorana. She tries her luck again, and it's skied by Sufek. Sent over, kept in the air by English. Bartel, forward, Skupski hits it on Carlow's side, and that earns Mount Union the point. The Purple Raiders can sound the final countdown. Graceland Skupski, an excellent performance down the stretch in set number 3, but it could all be over. 24-18 Mount Union. Avery Ollinger sends it away. The set up for Humberston, it's blocked, and Mount Union sweeps the day, taking down Carlow 25-18 in set number 3, and taking down the Celtics 3-0 overall. 6 sets played today, 6 wins for Mount Union, and that is how you respond to a loss. What a job by Mount Union and their young crew getting the job done in the end, as they get some momentum and confidence going forward, as a lot of those players will get a larger role next year. You can name a lot of players player of the game, but based off the interview last time with Alexis Meyer getting player of the game, I could agree with her, but I feel like you give it to everyone today. I don't think there was one player who made more of an impact than anyone else. Sadie Thomas, 8 kills. Heaven Bartel, 8 kills. Alexis Meyer, 9 kills. Looking for Carlow, Rebecca Hess, 8 kills. Humberston, 5 kills. Cooper, 4 kills. Assist-wise, Kildale led the way with 25. Next, Allie Gunn with 7, and then Hanson with 3 for Mount Union. Porter, Hess, and Chalfant, 12, 5, and 5 respectively for Carlow. Then we go into aces. 6 players at least with aces: Jones, Chalfant, and Humberston for the visitors, and Bolin, Kildale, and Bartel for Mount Union. Going to digs, Bartel doubling the next closest with 18, as Jones for Carlow had 9. Campbell and Haley with 7 and 5 respectively for Mount Union, with Hess and Porter having 6 and 3 for the visitors. And finally in points, Meyer led the way with 10.5, followed by Ava Bolin with 8.5, and Bartel as well, 8.5. As for Carlow, 9 for Rebecca Hess, 5 for Allison Humberston, and 4.5 for Megan Cooper. A great performance from Mount Union today, as they're on the road Wednesday when they take on John Carroll in University Heights. But with that, that does it from the Timken Gymnasium. Mount Union now 12-6 on the year, with 2 3-0 victories over Westminster and Carlow this afternoon. I have been Nathan Smith. Thank you for spending your Saturday with us here in Alliance. Have a good night, everyone, and as always, go Purple Raiders.